Hello and welcome to Sad Tales. Today we delve into a heartbreaking and complex case that shook a Florida community to its core, the tragic death of AJ Owens, a 35-year-old mother of four, at the hands of her neighbor Susan Lawrence, highlights the devastating impact of neighborhood disputes and the racial tensions that continue to haunt our society. This is a story about how a seemingly ordinary conflict escalated into a fatal encounter, leaving a family shattered and a community in turmoil. AJ Owens was a devoted mother to four young children. She was described by those who knew her as a loving, caring, and protective mother who would do anything for her kids. AJ was known for her strong presence in her children's lives and her determination to create a better future for them. The Owens family lived in a modest neighborhood in Ocala, Florida, where AJ was raising her children. It was a typical community where neighbors knew each other and children played outside together. But beneath the surface, tensions were brewing between AJ and her neighbor, Susan Lawrence. The tension between AJ Owens and Susan Lawrence had been simmering for some time. Susan, a Caucasian woman in her 50s, had a history of complaints against AJ's children and other children in the community. She frequently accused them of being noisy, disruptive, and trespassing on her property. According to reports, Susan had thrown objects at the children on multiple occasions, including a pair of skates just days before the fatal incident. According to members of the community, Susan Lawrence was known for being confrontational and had a history of conflicts with her neighbors, particularly regarding children playing near her property. Some neighbors described her as having a short temper and being quick to anger, often complaining about noise. Her actions leading to the tragic death of AJ Owens were met with shock and outrage in the community, as many felt her response was extreme and unjustified. The incident has deeply affected the neighborhood, leading to calls for justice and changes in how such conflicts are handled. Whenever Owens's children and other children in the community were playing outside near Susan Lawrence's home, Lawrence reportedly became agitated and often complained about the noise. She allegedly called the children derogatory names and was known for making confrontational remarks. On June 2nd, 2023, the situation reached a boiling point. That evening, AJ's children were playing outside when they encountered Susan once again. It's alleged that Susan Lawrence escalated her behavior by throwing a roller skate at one of the children, which prompted them to run back home in fear. AJ, understandably upset, decided to confront Susan directly. She approached Susan's door, knocked, and demanded an explanation for her actions. What happened next would change the lives of everyone involved forever. As AJ stood outside the door, Susan Lawrence, from inside her home, fired a single shot through the door. The bullet struck AJ, who collapsed on the ground. Her children, who were just a short distance away, witnessed the horrific event. Despite efforts to save her, AJ Owens died from her injuries at the scene. The community was left in shock. How could a disagreement between neighbors escalate to such a deadly conclusion? As the investigation unfolded, details of the incident began to emerge, shedding light on the events that led to AJ's tragic death. Susan Lawrence was arrested and charged with manslaughter with a firearm, along with additional charges of culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault. Her actions that night raised many questions about her intentions, her state of mind, and the role that racial bias may have played in the incident. During the legal proceedings, Susan's defense argued that she acted in self-defense, invoking Florida's Stand Your Ground law, which allows individuals to use deadly force if they believe they are in imminent danger. However, many in the community and across the nation questioned whether this was a legitimate case of self-defense or if it was a tragic misuse of the law. Legal experts weighed in, noting that while the Stand Your Ground law is meant to protect individuals in their own homes, it has often been criticized for disproportionately benefiting certain groups over others. The case of AJ Owens and Susan Lawrence reignited the debate over the application of this law, particularly in cases involving race. The death of AJ Owens sent shockwaves through the community, sparking outrage and grief. Many saw this incident as a clear example of racial bias leading to unnecessary violence. Vigils were held in AJ's memory and protests erupted, demanding justice for her and her family. Neighbors described Susan Lawrence as a difficult and confrontational person who often had disputes with those around her.
Recently, one day, because we were all playing here, young kids, everything jumped, so, all right, let's go. And she's like, hey, you know what? One day you guys are gonna die. And I'm like, and that's when I like, whoa.
Lawrence interrupted their conversation.
And apparently they're gonna match the pay.
I'm getting too much feedback on the phone from the dog. Can you please go someplace where he's not barking? Please, I'm getting too much feedback. I can't hear my dog. Nothing.
It's a dog. You can't stop the dog from barking.
Yeah, but too much feedback. Can you please at least go someplace?
Yeah, that's, I mean, that's,
All right, well, you have a good one. Apparently we can't stand here and have a conversation.
She took someone's kid's mom away. She didn't just kill someone. She killed someone's mom.
I heard a bang on my door so loud that my windows were shaking. And I came outside and her son was literally gasping for air, telling me that his mother had been shot by the lady across the street.
You said you knew who that was?
I knew who it was immediately.
Phyllis Willis says these moments were heart-wrenching, seeing her friend and neighbor dead across the street. Her message to the woman accused of shooting AJ was simple.
I hope she rots in hell.
Some recalled previous incidents where Susan's actions seemed fueled by prejudice and a desire to assert control over her environment. These accounts painted a picture of a neighborhood under strain, where racial tensions were always just below the surface. Civil rights activists quickly took up AJ's case, arguing that her death was not just a result of a neighborhood dispute, but a reflection of the broader issues of systemic racism and inequality in the justice system. They called for a thorough investigation and accountability, not only for Susan Lawrence, but for the societal structures that allow such tragedies to occur. The loss of AJ Owens left an indelible mark on her family, especially her 4 children, who now face a future without their mother. The emotional and psychological toll on these young lives is immeasurable. AJ's family has been vocal about their pain and their quest for justice, ensuring that AJ's story is not forgotten and that her death serves as a catalyst for change. In the wake of this tragedy, the community has rallied around the Owens family, offering support and raising funds to help them through this incredibly difficult time. However, no amount of money or support can ever replace the loss of a mother, a sister, and a friend. As we reflect on the tragic death of AJ Owens, we are left with many questions and a deep sense of sadness. How did a disagreement between neighbors lead to such a devastating outcome? What role did race and bias play in this incident? And how can we as a society prevent such tragedies from happening in the future? The case of AJ Owens and Susan Lawrence serves as a stark reminder of the importance of addressing racial tensions, promoting understanding and empathy, and ensuring that our laws are applied justly and fairly to all. It also highlights the need for communities to come together, not only in times of tragedy, but in everyday life, to build stronger, more compassionate relationships with one another. Thank you for watching this episode of Sad Tales. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, please consider subscribing to our channel for more stories that need to be told. Remember to like, share, and comment below with your thoughts on this case. Let's keep the conversation going and honor the memory of AJ Owens by working towards a more just and equitable society. Rest in peace. Ajike, AJ, Chantrell, Owens.